Hey, what's going on? And today I'm gonna attempt to try to show you guys how to make an acrylic case the way that I do them. Now, in my man cave, I have different collectibles like cereal boxes, double box figures of McFarlane's, and different stuff like that that doesn't necessarily have a case that I can buy. So what I started doing is I started just making my own cases. All right, just a quick overview of this. This is how this case, when it's done or sitting on a shelf, this is what it kind of looks like right here. You sit this down right here, and that's what it looks like. Black base, the cover on it, and all of that. Now, breaking this thing down, okay, you have the case, and it's welded together or mended together with acrylic glue. And I'll show you that in things that you need to have to create this. It's mended with acrylic glue, and you also need a way to cut it. Now the base is, I measured it out so that it can accommodate two many helmets. And the base is a piece of acrylic, right? And then on the flip side of that is I painted it with flat black paint. And these things right here are actually used in plumbing. And this is what they are. They are little, I don't even know what they use them for in plumbing, but I just saw them and I was like, man, that will make a great leg. So these go right there, but yeah. So I did that. Now, the things that you need is, you need something, you don't necessarily need these, but I got them, I use them because I thought they looked pretty cool. But first and foremost, what you need is, the acrylic. I use this, what is this, 1/4 inch acrylic. It's thicker, but it's a whole lot easier to mend together. This is why I use the thick stuff. And it's easy to cut too. So this is actually a small piece, but you actually need, a much bigger piece than that. And then over here we use the, it's acrylics, like glue. I think they call it like acrylic weld or something like that. But it sets up really fast, and it comes with this, and it actually comes with an applicator. So this little thin needle here, you put it into the gap of the item that you're trying to use, and you kind of let it go through it, and then the solvent itself will go ahead and get in the cracks, and then it'll mend it together. The other thing I use is, again, I use black paint. Now, and flat black paint is what I use. Now, some things that you can use to accomplish this is like, you can kind of go over the top in jigs and stuff like that. I personally use this thing here, what I call a jig, right? What I do is I cut the parts out, then I put it in here, slap it against that thing, and then bolt it down, and then I put my glue in. And then it kind of holds it together, and it actually keeps it square, because this is all even, so it keeps it square. So yeah, and what I'll do is, while I'm creating this, throughout the video, I'll kind of pause and go back to what I'm doing to create a, and I've made them for 12-inch McFarlane's. I've made them for, again, I made them for the 2-pack McFarlane, 3-pack McFarlane. I made one for a 3 helmet case, mini case. Or to build it yourself or buy it online. I think they go online for probably 45 bucks. And here, shoes in them, large helmets, mini helmets, cereal boxes. I've created some, which I'll put pictures along with this video right here. I've made them for the headliner figures. I've made them for, again, McFarlane figures. And especially the McFarlane figures that you can't buy a case for is what I did. So go ahead and hang in there and check the video out. All right, before we even get started about talking about cutting these parts, I'm gonna mention this. I also used this clear epoxy to mount the legs. Put some epoxy on here and just put it down. This stuff is really strong, so it works really well. So what we're gonna create, first thing we're gonna cut is we're gonna create this the base that goes inside of the display case. And we're going to cut these little pieces here, which are 1 by 5. We're going to cut them out of these little scraps right here, because I don't want to cut these out of a big piece of acrylic, because it'll be like wasting a lot of waste, so I don't want to do that. So this piece here is 5.5 by 14, and we're going to cut that out of this sheet right here. And then we'll get the parts together, and then and I know you noticed this flat black paint, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and paint that. And while that paint is drying, we'll cut all the other pieces. So when all the pieces are done, by the time we get ready to put everything together, the black paint will be dry. All right. We're gonna go ahead and assemble this base right here. So we're gonna add these pieces here, and then we're gonna put the go ahead and put the legs on. And how we accomplish that is kind of easy. What we do is we tape this stuff up so that it won't move. So whenever you drill a hole in it, it kind of all the holes will line up pretty evenly. So we take all of this off here. Take all the tape off. You could actually leave tape on the back, one of the back sides. Like we'll leave it on the back side of this one right here. So what we do is we get the poly. We got this epoxy coat. Now what I did was, and I picked this tip up off of the internet. What you do is you cut the two plungers apart so they don't move at the same time, so you can get equal amount. Because sometimes when you push, you might push more to this side or more to that side, so you're not getting an even amount of epoxy out. You grab very much, probably very little is what we're going to use, but I'll show you what I'm talking about when it comes to the epoxy, getting the epoxy out even. What you do is you press a little bit here, that side, right? Then pull it back, and then you press a little bit on that side, and get a little bit out that way. So now we have an even amount. Instruction says something like mix it for 5 minutes or something like that, but we're gonna mix it until we get a good even mixture here. By the way, you might want to have some nice ventilation, or not do it in an enclosed room because this stuff has a strong odor to it. We try to coat the inside of this, side of the hole itself, right? So that's on plastic. Put a little bit in here, and then we grab the piece itself, put the piece inside the epoxy like that, and add the piece. Rotate it, right? Same thing. So what I just figured out was the hole is big enough to just do this. We'll sit that over here, let it dry. Then we're going to coat these up real good like this. Drop it in like that. Now, we have them all in. And the key to it is just to keep them even. Because they want to turn a little bit on you. So you want to keep them even in there like that. So when they bottom pieces are, and we don't want that. So we're going to paint the whole base black, and then we're going to add epoxy to those pieces, then epoxy them while the paint is on. Hopefully that works. I think it will. The top or the cover, just a kind of basically a box, whatever. So we're going to sit this to the side so we can start putting everything together for the top one. Okay. So what we do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to take them. So now, acrylic glue, we're going to shoot it down. What I do is I grab an actual weight. In this case, this is a 35-pound weight here. We're going to stick this right there. All right, guys. Now what this does is, as you're waiting on the acrylic to dry, the side to dry, I decided to go ahead and add back put the legs back on here. Put some epoxy on here like this. Okay, put this right here. Too easy. So we'll sit flat on there like one here. I have a lot of push out there, but that's okay because we can clean it up later. Put one there. There we go. Got the 2 weights on it. So we'll wait about, when this dries, that should be dry, so we'll finish up at the same time. Right back. Alright, we already set the jig for the other side. And what we're going to do is go ahead and put the cement out from here, or this Yeah, there it is. See how shiny that is like that? All right, then you got the base, the legs on it. See, it's like flat. Came out pretty good. Well, we're all done. With the acrylic display case. See that? Take this off, put it right back on. This is the donor one. And that's the one we just built. All right. Yep, that acrylic glue really makes it look seamless. I mean, if you get up on the seams, you can kind of see a little bit. A couple of mistakes, but and I'm trying to figure out a way to prevent from making those glue run mistakes, but I just haven't figured it out. I'm sure somebody out there have picked this thing apart and how bad it looks or whatever, but it's for my display. I use it in my man cave. It looks good to me, so we'll go with that. But I will put a description of the stuff that's needed inside of the description and all of that. And thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next.